Hey guys, how you doing? Sorry, no joke today. We've had kind of a rough week here. One of our dogs died, um, so I went out and bought another one for my wife, and we've been fighting over the last couple of days. She's just really ungrateful about the whole thing. She's like, "What am I supposed to do with two dead dogs?" Right? I don't get it. So anyway, um,
God, that's terrible.
my wife disagrees with the joke. Anywho, I'm going to be doing a quick knife sale here. What up, YouTube? Let's hear. Scott here. I'm going to be doing a knife sale today. I've got a couple of knives that I need to get rid of because there's a knife that I want to pick up, and it's something you can't get a hold of very easily, and it's a great price. So I'm just going to be selling some knives to try to get a hold of that guy. So if you're interested in one of these knives, go ahead and send me a message on Instagram or an email or something like that. Let me know. I will send you the link to my PayPal, and you can buy the knife. Very exciting. So first things first, I'll show you my Instagram. It's let's underscore do it up, LETS underscore do it up on Instagram. So if you need to send me a message there, go ahead. And my email is letsdiu79 at gmail.com. Again, send me a message. I'll send you the link to my PayPal. And then as soon as I receive the funds, I will go to the post office and send that bad boy to you. So we're going to get started. I will start from the least expensive knife all the way down to the most expensive knife. There's only four. Not going to be a long video, but the first video up for sale, or sorry, the first video, I'm an idiot. The first knife up for sale is the Real Steel Megalodon. So as you can see, you've got some natural micarta here on the show side. This is a titanium frame lock knife with a titanium pocket clip, and I do have the pocket clip on this guy now. Running on bearings, obviously. I think it's almost a 4-inch blade on this guy. Not a very large knife, but it's definitely a large knife for most. You can see there's not really any damage on the blade here. No scratches, no chips, no dings or anything like that in this guy. The blade is pretty much pristine in factory condition, and this is the factory edge. Really not much else to say about this knife. There's no milling on the titanium at all, but it's not a huge handle, so it's not too heavy. As you can see, when you push the lock bar, it'll drop right down, and it takes just a little bit of shaking to get it to go back down into the handle. I think I paid about 165 or 170 for this knife, and I really like it. I enjoy it a lot. I just don't carry it very much, just because it's a nicer knife, and I do have, like, the certificate of authenticity for it. It's just not something that I carry very often, so I'm happily getting rid of it, but it's definitely a nice knife. I've enjoyed having it as long as I have. I've had this about 1.5 years. So this guy is going to go for $100 even. I think I paid about 165 or 170 for it. The next one on the list is going to be the CHAVES 229 REDENCION, and this is the street version, so this is a little bit smaller than the standard. Obviously, it's got the skull pocket clip on it, and it's the skull pocket clip where the screws go through the skull and not the eyes, which is a little bit less sought after than the ones that do go through the eyes, but that's what I have. Titanium frame lock with a black G10 scale on the show side. And you've got no liners on this guy, titanium backspacer, and thumb stud operated Tanto blade with a hollow grind on the straight and then a flat grind on the tip. Nice little swedge up here. And as you can see, I think this blade is about 2.78 or something like that, 2.78 inches. Running on bearings, as you can see, it drops right down when you disengage the lock bar. It becomes a little bit stiffer when the lock bar is released. But it does still fall back into the handle with just a little bit of shaking. Not too bad at all. This one is going to go for $200. I believe I paid $275 or $300 for this guy. So that's a pretty good discount in my opinion. Sorry, my cat was scratching me. He's such an asshole. Okay, so yeah, if you want this guy, $200, just send me a message and let me know, and it's yours. Next one on the list is the Medford Smooth Criminal. Flips out pretty good with the flipper tab. Does take a little bit of wrist until you get used to it, but then it's not too bad. You have an aluminum pocket clip here with the MKT logo on it, and this is a button lock knife. You can see that the aluminum is kind of colored. According to the website, it was a yellow, kind of like a burnt yellow aluminum. It looks more like an OD green to me, but that's just my opinion. Depends on how the light hits it, but it kind of does look a little bit yellow, but it looks closer to green to me. You have what I believe is a PVD coated blade here, and when you hit the button, it just drops right back down into the handle, no problem whatsoever. Flipper tab, like I said, works really good, and the button is very, very smooth, drops right back down into the handle. If you're interested in getting into a Medford knife for not a whole lot of money, this is your best bet. It's the smallest knife that Medford makes, but I am able to get a full 4-finger grip on this guy with no problem whatsoever. There's nowhere to choke up on this guy, but for a small everyday carry knife, this is a really, really good option. This one, I believe, is $275. Yeah, $275 for the Medford Smooth Criminal in PVD coated. I believe this is S45VN. Let me look. Yeah, S45VN. I don't know if you can read that or not. No, you won't be able to read that, but it's S45VN, PVD coated blade, aluminum handles, and an aluminum pocket clip for $275. I believe I paid close to $325 for this guy, but it might have been around $300. The last on the list is the excuse me, the BERG Blades Iron Wolf, which is a very large knife. You can see here that it's got a 4-inch blade on it, probably a 5-inch handle. So I believe this is close to a 9-inch knife. Flat grind all the way down, but you've also got this kind of like tanto tip here. So you've got a primary tip here and you've got a secondary tip right here. It's not a compound ground knife, but it looks like you've got kind of a tanto edge there almost. There is a swedge that carries down all the way to the tip. You've got the BERG Blade emblem here, and then nothing on the other side. I'm fairly certain that this is S20V, but I could be wrong. I can't remember exactly what the blade steel on this guy was. You've got a titanium bolster lock here, and then you've got some natural micarta. I'm sorry, not natural micarta. This is green micarta scales or onlays, if you want to call them that. There is a titanium backspacer on this guy, and you've got a titanium pocket clip here as well. Very nice knife. I believe I paid $365 or $370 for it. But I'm selling it for $275, which is a very good price. It's almost $100 off of this guy. So if you're interested in this, hit me up. As you can see, the action is pretty good. Just flipper tab operated, but that's no problem. It's really good hunting knife, in my opinion. But I've never used it, never carried it. I've actually never carried any of these knives very much at all. I've never carried this one at all. I've never carried the Smooth Criminal at all. I just wanted it to have a Medford in my collection. I carried the Chavez a little bit, but not enough to where there's any real marks on it or anything like that. You might have a few nicks here and there on the pocket clip, but nothing, you know, extremely evident there. And then the most carried one would have been the Mastodon, I'm sorry, the Megalodon, but I never carried it enough to put any serious markings on it. There is a little mark here on the pocket clip that I can't get off, but that's just from the laser etching, so I'm not sure how that happened there. Maybe a little bit of snail trails on this guy, but it's really not too bad. The blade, again, is the factory edge, so it's never really been used or sharpened very much. So that's everything today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. And stay up, y'all. Take it easy. Bye.